Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the Hey How You Doing podcast, the show that breaks down world headlines so your uncle at the BBQ and your niece at college can understand it the same way. Today we're talking about something messy, expensive, and controversial, the war in Ukraine. Did Zelensky poke the Russian bear? Was this all over gas money? Did the US pour billions into a black hole? And Trump said Ukraine started the war. Was he right? Also, what if all that money was spent fixing problems right here in the USA? We've got questions and today we're digging deep for answers. Let's go. Let's start with the man in the spotlight, Volodymyr Zelensky. This dude went from playing the president on TV to becoming the actual president of Ukraine in 2019. He ran as a political outsider, no political experience, just charisma, a clean image, and a promise to fight corruption. And he crushed the election, winning over 70% of the vote. His mission? Clean up politics, get closer to the West, stand up to Russia. Sounds inspiring. But to Putin, that was a major red flag. Now let's get into one of the biggest claims floating around. Did Zelensky or Ukraine target Russian citizens? Let's clear this up. Ukraine has a big Russian-speaking population, especially in the east. After Russia annexed Crimea in 2014, Ukraine started leaning harder into promoting Ukrainian culture and language. Zelensky's government supported laws making Ukrainian the primary language in schools and public life. Zelensky did ban Russian-backed media in Ukraine, calling it propaganda, and certain Russian-owned businesses were sanctioned or shut down, especially after the invasion in 2022. So, he put pressure on Russian economic interests. But let's be real, if a country is supporting separatists and bombing your borders, you're probably not going to let their companies run free inside your country. Here's the thing, Ukraine makes billions in pipeline transit fees, moving Russian gas to Europe. But Russia didn't like paying Ukraine. They built Nord Stream pipelines under the sea to bypass them. Zelensky warned, if Europe lets this happen, Russia will stop paying us and hold Europe hostage. So, the gas pipelines were a major financial and strategic issue. But was it the reason for the war? More like part of the tension, but not the trigger. Ukraine historically earned around $1.5 billion to $2 billion per year in gas transit fees from Russian gas pipelines running through its territory to Europe. Let's break that down. Monthly transit fee, revenue annual, approximately $1.5 to $2 billion. Monthly average $125 million to $166 million. Percentage of Ukraine's national budget. Before the full-scale war, pre-2022, Ukraine's annual government budget was approximately 40 to 50 billion US dollars. So the pipeline fees made up roughly 3 to 5% of the total national budget, but a larger share of foreign currency income and energy-related revenue. Importance beyond just cash. Even though it wasn't the largest line item, the gas transit was a strategic bargaining chip with Russia and Europe. It brought hard currency, US dollars and euros, crucial for Ukraine's economy. It helped subsidize domestic gas prices and support energy security. When Russia started bypassing Ukraine with Nord Stream pipelines, Ukraine lost leverage, feared deeper economic isolation, and warned Europe that this would make it easier for Putin to act aggressively, which ended up happening. Trump said Ukraine started the war. Let's get real. Russia invaded Crimea in 2014, backed rebels in eastern Ukraine, built up troops for years, and finally launched a full-scale invasion in February 2022. Zelensky didn't invade Russia, Ukraine didn't bomb Moscow, Russia rolled tanks across Ukraine's borders. Let's get into Putin's paranoia. Why does he hate the West? Here's the backstory. After the Cold War, NATO expanded eastward, closer to Russia's borders. Putin saw that as a betrayal of promises made in the 90s. He believes the West wants to keep Russia weak, divided, and boxed in. As of 2024, the US has spent over $100 billion on the war in Ukraine. Let that sink in. $100 billion. That includes military aid, humanitarian assistance, economic support. And people are asking, what if that money was spent at home? Let's break it down. $100 billion could cover free college tuition for every student in the United States. It could give universal childcare for years. It could patch up crumbling infrastructure or start serious healthcare reform. Let's talk about the whispers. Weapons went missing. Some ended up on the black market. There have been reports, some from watchdog groups, some from leaked Pentagon documents, that not all weapons have been tracked properly once they hit Ukraine. Now, it's not proven that massive shipments disappeared. But lack of oversight? Yeah. Even US officials admitted they lost sight of where some gear went. So what do we know? Zelensky didn't start the war, but he didn't back down either. Russia invaded, using excuses about protecting Russian speakers. The United States got involved, hard, with cash and weapons. And now the world's paying the price in dollars, lives, and trust. Whether you think this was about pipelines, power, or politics, one thing's for sure. War is a business, and regular people always get caught in the middle. That's it for this episode of the Hey How You Doin' podcast. Let me know what you think. Did Zelensky do the right thing? Should the United States have spent that cash at home? Is there more to this story? Hit that like, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, hey, how you doing?